Hello, kids! Today, I will tell you one of the most famous stories of the Brothers Grimm. It is about a handsome prince who was looking for the owner of a sparkling glass slipper, a mysterious girl who had danced with him. Who is that girl? And will the prince find her and marry her? Let's read on to find out the answer. Once upon a time, there lived a rich man whose wife had passed away many years ago and left behind a daughter. The girl was so beautiful, charming, and gentle that everyone loved her. One day, the father took another wife, a woman with 2 daughters. These girls were beautiful to look at, but in their hearts, they were evil.
My dear, I have a surprise for you. Here is your stepmother and stepsisters. We will live together from now on.
Come here with me, daughter. What a lovely girl. Good morning. Huh, the house looks nice enough. From that day on, the daughter lived an unhappy life. She had to serve the stepmother and stepsisters, who took all her beautiful clothes, gave her only old rags and wooden shoes, and put her in the kitchen. Day by day, she had to do all the chores of the house, from early morning until night. She was not allowed to sleep in a bed. Instead, she had to lie down next to the fireplace in the ashes. Her face and clothes were always dirty with cinder and ashes. That's why the 2 stepsisters called her Cinderella. The father one day went to the market and asked his daughters what presents they wanted. The stepsisters asked for nice dresses and jewels, while Cinderella only asked for the branch that struck his hat. On his way home, a branch of a chestnut tree struck the father's hat, so he brought it home for Cinderella. The girl thanked her dad. She planted it beside her mother's grave and wept bitterly. Her tears made the branch very wet. Its buds and shoots burst out and soon grew into a large tree. Cinderella visited her mother's grave every day, and there was a white bird settling on the branch every time. Whenever Cinderella asked for something, the bird would give it to her. Mom, I miss you so much. Mom, I miss you so much. One day, the king held a 3-day ball and invited every beautiful young woman in the kingdom. There, his son, the prince, would choose a wife for himself. The 2 stepsisters were invited too. They were very excited. They asked Cinderella to comb their hair, prepare beautiful clothes for them, and tighten their laces. After doing all the housework, Cinderella asked if she could go to the ball. But the trio made fun of her. "A dirty girl, Cinderella! How dare you attend the royal ball in your rags?" Then the stepmother threw a basin of peas into the ash heap and said, "If you can get every pea picked out of the ashes in an hour's time, I will let you go." "I have done all the housework. Please let me go with you." "Huh, lazy. If you get every pea picked out of the ashes, I will let you go." "You can't dance. If you go there, you will only put us to shame." "Huh, how can you afford to have a beautiful dress for the ball? What a dirty girl." The stepmother and her arrogant daughters left in a hurry. Cinderella ran away to the garden and sang out, "O gentle doves, O turtle doves, and all the birds that be, the peas that in ashes lie, come and pick up for me. The good must be put in the dish, the bad you may eat if you wish." Immediately, a great number of little birds came to the ash heap and commenced to pick, pick, pick. The birds sorted the peas in less than an hour. "Oh, it's tasty." "Hey, hurry up! Come here! These peas taste better." "Little birds, please come here and help me sort these peas." "Thank you so much." But Cinderella didn't have clothes to go to the ball. What should she do? She went to her mother's grave, sat under the chestnut tree, and called out, shake yourself, little tree! Throw some nice clothing down to me." Instantly, the bird gave her a gown embroidered with golden thread and a pair of sparkling glass slippers. She put them on and headed to the ball. shake yourself, little tree! Throw some nice clothing down to me." "Wow, how beautiful it is! Thank you so much, my little bird." "Yippee! Let's go to the royal ball!" "How ill-mannered! We're going to the royal palace, so it's better to be polite." Cinderella went to the ball splendidly dressed, and everybody admired her beauty. The stepmother and her daughters didn't recognize her, thinking that she was a princess from a foreign country. The prince walked towards Cinderella, held her hands, and asked her to dance. He couldn't stay away from Cinderella, and he wanted to dance with no one but her. When anyone asked Cinderella to dance, the prince said, "She is my partner." "Where is that beautiful princess from?" The prince is crazy about her." "Not a problem. There are still 2 nights left." "Beautiful girl, can I have the next dance with you?" As midnight came, Cinderella said farewell to the prince and left. He offered her a ride home, as he wanted to know who she was. But when they were nearing her house, she eluded him and jumped into the pigeon coop. The prince waited until Cinderella's father came home. He told him about the strange girl who had jumped into the pigeon coop. The father thought,
Is that Cinderella?
"Have you seen a girl in there?"
Prince, there is really nobody here.
On the following evening, Cinderella went to the tree again, shortly after the stepmother and her daughters had gone to the ball. The bird gave her a more magnificent and splendid gown than the previous one. The prince was waiting for her for a long time. When Cinderella arrived, she was so beautiful that nobody could take their eyes off of her. The prince held her hands and danced with only her. Late at night, the prince took Cinderella home. She ran to the garden behind the house and climbed to a pear tree laden with fruits. The prince waited until the father returned home. The father cut the tree down, but he found nobody there. When he came to the kitchen, Cinderella was lying in the ashes as usual. "Look for her carefully. I saw her climb that tree."
Prince, there is really nobody here.
"Where can I find you?" On the 3rd evening, Cinderella looked gorgeous in her magnificent clothes and sparkling glass slippers. Everyone was astounded by her beauty, and the prince couldn't take his eyes off of her. But at midnight, Cinderella made a low curtsy and left in haste again, like on the previous occasions. This time, the prince had the stairway covered with resin. When Cinderella ran down the stairs, one of her slippers got stuck.
Stop! Please don't run away!
Wow, a sparkling slipper! I will certainly find you. The following day, the prince brought the slipper to the house of Cinderella's father and said, "I will marry the girl whose foot this slipper fits." The sisters were glad. The elder tried on the slipper, but it was too short for her. Her mom told her to cut off her big toe, and she obeyed. Biting her teeth together, she cut it off and met the prince. The prince rode away with her. When passing by the grave, a couple of pigeons called out, "Rook-de-goo! Rook-de-goo! There's blood in the shoe! The shoe is too tight! This bride is not right!" The prince looked down and saw the blood streaming from her shoe. He took the false bride back to her house.
How lucky I am! Finally, I have found you!
Try a little more. When I become the queen, I will never have to go on foot.
Rook-de-goo! Rook-de-goo! There's blood in the shoe! The shoe is too tight! This bride is not right!
How dare you cheat me? I'm the real bride! Then the second tried on the slipper. Luckily, her toes fit in it, but her heel was too large. So she obeyed her mom and cut part of it off so that the prince would pick her. But when they passed by the grave, the false bride was discovered by the pigeons on the chestnut tree. The prince looked at the slipper and saw the blood streaming from it. He instantly took her back.
My goodness! Why did you come back?
Mom! Mom! My foot! It hurts!
What happened? What did you do with her?
This is not the true bride! How dare you cheat me! You're disrespectful to me! The prince asked if there was another daughter in the house. The father answered there was only Cinderella, but she could not be the bride. However, the prince insisted Cinderella try on the shoe. She made a low bow to the prince, pulled the heavy shoe from her foot, and tried on the nice glass slipper. The shoe fit perfectly. When Cinderella lifted her head up, the prince recognized her as the beautiful princess who had danced with him. He cried out, "This is the right bride!" Hey girl, try it on. This girl is very dirty. She will make a muck of your shoes.
Oh, it's you! Finally, I have found you!
The prince took Cinderella behind him upon his horse. When they passed by the chestnut tree, the pigeons cried out, "Rook-de-goo! Rook-de-goo! No blood's in the shoe! The shoe's not too tight! This bride is right!" The prince and Cinderella's lavish wedding ceremony was held a short time later. From then on, Cinderella lived happily ever after. That's the end of my story. That's the end of my story. Isn't Cinderella kind, hardworking, and lucky? Lazy and wicked people, like the stepmother and the two daughters, will get an unhappy ending. So, you should always be good and polite children, who study hard and help your parents and grandparents so that everyone loves you. Goodbye, and see you again.